Alrighty, everybody, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another lobster live stream. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing good. Glad to have y'all here back with another update here. Like I said, we got some pretty big information coming in with this new update, y'all. This thing, since last update, I don't think it was a tropical storm last time we covered it. I think it was a tropical depression. I could be wrong. Maybe? Anyways, well, regardless, it's a tropical storm right now. It's actually almost a hurricane. It's almost a hurricane already, overall here. So, whenever it comes through here, like I said, right now we're talking sustained winds of 70 miles per hour, obviously higher gusts, even though it says 0, but we're seeing higher gusts, possibly up into hurricane strength in terms of those gusts and stuff like that, overall. Anyways, let's go ahead and see who we got here for today. Got to go ahead and say hello to everybody. We got ourselves Sean, we have Henry, we have Poland, we have JR, we have Pat, we have Lord. We got PTC Go, we have ourselves JR, we have Clean Logic, we have Sikilla, we got ourselves Speedy, we got, let's see here, Chris, Janice, Shadow, Annan, we have DJ, TRG, let's see, James, Kyle, Odd One, and let's see here, Petrified. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing good. Like I said, glad to have y'all here for today. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, this thing's actually this thing is literally 5 mile an hour off from becoming a Category 1 hurricane, so it's literally at the peak top of a tropical storm force, criteria right now. Once again, right now, this thing is currently having sustained winds of 70 miles per hour with obviously higher gusts, being a possibility here. Now, look at this. This thing actually is forecasted from the National Hurricane Center to become a hurricane today. Look at that. So, to be considered a hurricane, you must have sustained winds of at least 75 miles per hour. 75 mile an hour winds and greater is hurricane strength. Like I said, this thing goes literally from 70 mile per hour sustained winds right up in the next update, expected to be right around 85. This thing is expected to go rapid intensification. I mean, seriously, rapid intensification out of the system here. Seems to be a good possibility. And, even by tomorrow morning, this thing could be a Category 2 with sustained winds of 100 miles an hour with gusts up to 120. And even by, like I said, the morning here for the 8th, which the 8th would be on Friday, right? Friday, so today's the 6th, yep, so tomorrow 7th. So yeah, for Friday, we're talking a possible Cat 3, but things start to get a little hairy here down the line, y'all. So this is what I'm a little bit concerned about, obviously. Like I said, this system is expected to be a beast. As of right now, the maximum, guidance here from the, like I said, the guidance here from the Hurricane Center has this thing in the forecast to be, like I said, sustained winds of 150 miles per hour with gusts getting up to 185. Overall is definitely a very strong storm. Is forecasted to definitely be, a really nasty storm overall. And we're gonna definitely need to watch out for it. Now, the good news is, We are not expecting any landfall to occur out there towards the northern Lesser Antilles as well as, Puerto Rico. We're not expecting landfall here. However, we are going to be getting a very close approach. Like I said, it could be as close as, like I said, the southern portion of the cone of uncertainty, or it could be as high up as that top portion of the cone of uncertainty. But you can see the model here literally goes right through the center here overall. But like I said, that's the HWRF model. But you can see how this one actually agrees with the middle of the hurricane center's track here overall. There is a decent amount of agreement, actually. We'll look at the models here in a moment. But yeah, what I'm actually still a little questionable for is the threat of, surges and, all kinds of problems with the tides out here towards, once again, in northern Lesser Antilles as well as, Puerto Rico. I'm sure we're definitely going to probably see a bit of rip current concerns and all kinds of stuff like that, because this is a beast of a storm here. There will most certainly be rip currents for, these regions. And, for example, we had Hurricane Franklin here not too long ago. Franklin, went out to sea for the most part, but it still caused a lot of rip current concerns for the U.S. East Coast. It definitely did. And, some of the models we're going to be figuring out here today, some of the models continue to support this thing going up here to the north, which, like I said, either directly or indirectly will cause problems to, like I said, to the United States coastline. So if you're planning on going to the beach here, basically for next week, you might want to, obviously, probably not get in the water, especially if you have rip current concerns and stuff like that, because, like I said, a beast of a system like this, even rolling pretty far outland, pretty far out to sea for the most part, I mean, this will still rock those waves like crazy, really, really large waves, as well as, like I said, rip current, like I was saying, rip current issues and stuff like that. Let's see here. But yeah, DJ says good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Will the storm go to Nova Scotia? So it's a little early for that, but there is a couple of model runs that is supporting the possibility of that being an idea. But we'll look at the models here, actually here in 1 second. Let's go ahead and hop you guys over here to the satellite view. I want to go ahead and show you guys what the storm looks like now. It's looking a lot more healthy. I mean, look at this thing. Very obvious, circulation. We've got a big convective burst going on here in the latest scans. This thing's healthy. This thing's doing really good. This thing's definitely picking up a bit of strength. Once again, rapidly developing as this thing rolls into, obviously warm waters. It's already in warm waters. There is literally no limiting factors with this thing. There is a, lack of wind shear, which is good. So there's no winds that are aiming at the storm to rip it apart. We got ourselves, like I said, those warm waters, as well as a lot of moisture, as you can see. Once again, like I was saying, you can obviously tell that counterclockwise circulation here. Very strong tropical storm, like I said, sustained winds right now of 70 miles per hour. It's only 5 short sustained from becoming a hurricane. So it's right on the tipping point between tropical storm and hurricane. It is right between the two. So this thing, like I said, it is forecasted to actually be a hurricane here by later on tonight. But like I was saying here, you can see in the latest few frames right there, that big convective burst that just happened here on the satellite view. That would not be surprising if that does get up to nearly hurricane strength here very soon. Like I said, I would not be surprised if the next update we have, though we had our last update at 11. I think our next one's at 2 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. I bet you probably by 2 o'clock. I have a pretty confident feeling that this thing will be a Cat 1 by the 2 p.m. update here overall. Like I said, it's definitely looking like it's already almost at that hurricane status for the most part. But yeah, once again, big convective burst there on the last scan, or on the latest scans here, which is, absolutely crazy here. Let's see here. Category 4 hurricane does not produce 185 mile per hour winds. Yep, it does not. In terms of gusts, like I said on the forecast here, we're going to show you guys this here. Like I said, the title says up to 185, and you can see maximum wind gusts here, sustained of 150. It's just 7 short from a Cat 5, with maximum wind gusts getting up to 185, which is crazy, which is definitely really crazy. But like I said, there's no islands in the direct path of, where those strongest winds are going to be as of right now, which is good. Like I was talking about, is that this system's going to be passing to the north of the Lesser Antilles and Puerto Rico. Like I said, will still cause some issues, once again with rip currents and all that stuff and tidal issues, considering it's going to be really strong right next to those regions. I mean, a couple outer bands, honestly would not be ruled out if they could hit portions of the northern Lesser Antilles. And you can see, according to the HWRF model here, the one we got running, a couple of those bands reaches their way into some of those regions. It's possible. We could get some outer bands, but like I said, for the most part, those hurricane conditions are going to be to the north, and we're not expecting any hurricane activity to occur for the Lesser Antilles and Puerto Rico, so we should be fine. But like I said, a couple of those bands, still could be possible, could get a little gusty overall. But anyways, but yeah, so that's what we're looking at. Once again, this thing's a beast of a storm here, according to multiple models, as we are about to figure out here overall. But anyways, But we're gonna go and hop you guys over here to the like I said, we're gonna go and hop you guys over here to the models now. We actually got a new GFS run coming through. We're gonna go ahead and bring you guys over here to the GFS here. So whenever it comes to it overall, we're gonna go ahead and hop out to the North Atlantic. Whenever it comes to it, like I said, obviously the GFS shows rapid intensification. This thing rapidly intensifies as it works its way here to the west. By the point it reaches the, the kind of extent just north of the Lesser Antilles, it's kind of, according to models, kind of seems to be right where it's near strongest for the most part. According to the GFS, we're talking, the pressure getting down to around 935 millibars, which is definitely, like I said, definitely is a a beast of a storm. The pressure that low overall is a pretty nasty storm overall. But yeah, no, it's going to continue working its way up here. Like I said, obviously, the further you go out in the models, a little bit more, uncertain things are. But honestly, it seems like the GFS has been kind of trending away from what it used to be trending. For example, we have ourselves actually that high pressure ridge out here across portions here of, kind of eastern Canada into the Ohio Valley of the United States. Honestly, this would probably help keep it away from the U.S. mainland. So it looks less and less likely that this thing will be coming its way towards the U.S. I mean, obviously, like I said, it's still in the long range. There's still a few things that can change by then, but for the most part, the models as we're going to be seeing here does support this thing to possibly get pushed off a bit. Let's see here. Tip wasn't actually the strong. Let's see, it was not 870 millibars. The reason it was 870 is because it was only a low. Well, it was that pressure 870 millibars is huge. The system was so large. Tip was huge, a really big system, so the pressure was able to drop really low. And because of the system, it couldn't compact those tight winds towards the center, which obviously, if you have a more broad system, it's slower rotation speed overall. But yeah, no, it's definitely, that was definitely a crazy storm. Sandy as well was a very large storm overall, mostly a water concern, but that's how Sandy was. Let's see here. Highest risk state, I think, is Massachusetts. Like I said, once again, there's really no way of telling that to be exact, but like I said, it's definitely going to need to be monitored still. I mean, like I said, I'm pretty daggone certain at this point that we are going to be seeing, like I said, obviously, some rip current problems being a good possibility across the U.S. East Coast here. I mean, like I said, even if this thing, still remains out to sea, this would still cause some rip current problems. Like I said, we had Franklin that just hit not too long ago, and with Hurricane Franklin, that caused those rip current problems, and that was forecasted to be, Franklin was still a really strong storm, but it was, like I said, this one's a little forecasted to be just a teensy bit more powerful overall. We'll see we'll see if that plays out overall. What are the chances of a South Carolina and Maryland landfall? Right now, it's very low. I really do believe that this thing's just going to be kicked its way out here overall, because, like I said, we have a building high pressure that's a big ridge that's going to develop here across the Midwest Ohio Valley into the eastern side of Canada. And like I said, this should act kind of like a bodyguard and, potentially knock this thing back out to the ocean. So, like I said, the odds of this thing making landfall, I think, is, going down. I feel like it is going down quite a bit here overall. Let's see here. Let's see. We're still at, no one really knows anything at this point. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we're still a little ways away out there. But like I said, for the next couple of days, I mean, this thing's definitely becoming more and more clear here. The majority of the models that we are going to determine here does have this thing, more than likely pulling to the north here. We're actually going to go ahead and bring you guys over here to the spaghetti models. Let's go and hop you guys over here real quickly. But whenever it comes to the spaghetti models, let's go ahead and bring you guys over here. We'll go ahead and start off with the track overall. It seems like there is a little bit more uncertainty here. For the most part, let's go ahead and hop you guys back over here, back over to the spaghetti models. But like I was saying, you can see that we have a pretty good density of the models right in this region, so this thing is just going to continue working its way here to the west. You can kind of see towards the end of the spaghetti models how it does slightly curve more to the north, as we're going to see on the ensembles as well. Seems to be a good possibility. So, like I said, this thing is, as you're going to see, most of the models do have this thing pulling up here to the north overall. So we'll just have to monitor that. And like I said, there is a handful of models. There's a couple models, like I said, let's see. EGR2, and as well as the UK M2. Those models, kind of have it a little bit more towards the Lesser Antilles and a little bit more towards Puerto Rico, but still no direct landfall, so which is good. Like I said, obviously, Lesser Antilles, I mean, once again, you guys are probably going to feel some, effects with the rip currents and all that stuff, but, whenever it comes to the, the direct hurricane force winds, it should not be a problem, because this storm is going to be tracking, is expected to track just to the north of the Lesser Antilles as well as north of Puerto Rico overall. Let's see here. Weather Watcher says, great reporting, Andrew. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Is there going to be a Category 5? Like I said, I think this thing does have the potential in it to become near Cat 5. Like I said, right now in the current forecast cone here from the, from the Hurricane Center, for the last couple of stages, we're talking sustained winds of 150 miles an hour. You can see 150 with gusts up to 185. Like I said, once again, 150 there. Like I said, to be classified as a Category 5 hurricane, it has to have sustained winds of at least 157 miles per hour. 157 plus. So anything 157 and higher would be considered, not sustained winds, remember. That's constant winds blowing, within the center of the storm there, towards the eye wall. That's where your strongest winds are. And like I was saying, it has to be at least 157, which right now it's forecasted to be right at 150, so it's only 7 short from being, there towards that low-end Category 5 zone. Let's see here. Keep our fingers crossed that Lee stays out to sea. I agree. I definitely do agree. Let's see here. Justin says HAFSB is going nuts, though, on the 10-meter wind speeds. I'm not surprised. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Here, we'll actually take a look at those models here in a second. But first, before we do, let me go ahead and bring you guys over here. So that was the spaghetti models. Here's the intensity. Okay, so here's the intensity based off of, all those spaghetti models we were looking at here for the most part. Whenever it comes to the system here, you can kind of see that middle point obviously has this thing getting well up into at least, like I said, Category 4 strength. There's a handful of models, a couple of them have it, going pretty daggone high, possibly even up in the Cat 5 zone, which, like I said, seems to be a possibility. We'll definitely have to watch out for that, because like I was explaining here, there's really no limitations in the atmosphere right now. If I go ahead and bring you guys back over here to the GFS model, I'll go ahead and show you exactly what I'm talking about here. Let's go ahead and work our way to the North Atlantic, and we'll go ahead and full screen this for you guys. So, like I was explaining here, whenever it comes to the amount of moisture in the atmosphere, like I said, there's 3 main ingredients. You have to have those warm surface temperatures of the ocean. You have to have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, as well as basically, a lack of wind shear. If you have strong winds aiming at the storm, that would just shred apart the storm, and we do not have those winds, which is, good for the storm, not good overall. But you can see the system's just wrapping in a bunch of moisture. I mean, there is some dry air that, that kind of gets around the storm, but it should not infiltrate. Most of the models, actually pretty much all the models here, does not have that dry air causing any problems, at least in its beginning to middle life here overall. But like I said, this thing, GFS is this thing rapidly strengthening. It seems like it's going to be near its strongest according to this model as it approaches here just, north of the Lesser Antilles and just north here of, like I said, Puerto Rico overall. But like I said, there's a lot of warm surface temperatures out there. Like I said, the water surface temperatures is very warm. A lot of moisture, as we just looked at. And like I was explaining here, with the overall wind shear, winds that are foreign to the storm, you can see that, we have a bit of, winds that go clockwise, but that's the venting process. And like I said, on these tropical systems, on the upper side of them, they rotate clockwise, actually. In the northern hemisphere, that's their venting process. On the surface, they rotate counterclockwise. On the upper levels, they rotate clockwise. So overall, that is, essentially what we are looking at here for the most part. But yeah, we work our way down here further in time. Like I said, there's really not too much wind shear. But then it could be a problem. Like I said, in the long range, we'll have to see how this plays out here overall. And we'll go ahead and just, have to keep on watching this here. Let's go ahead and see here. Oh my gosh! Proxy! Proxy just... Oh my gosh, Proxy's here. Holy cow! Proxy, it's been a long time! Hope you're doing okay. Let's see here. Hi, Andrew. Sorry to not be around much. Coming in with a $50 support. Proxy, we love you. Thank you so much. It's been a long time, and I hope you're doing good. Proxy says, hi, Andrew. Sorry to not be around much. But I have a lot going on. We'll try to drop by the best weather tracking channel on YouTube whenever I can. Rock on. All right, Proxy, thank you so much. I'm glad to have you here. Like I said, we missed you. I was actually hoping that you were okay, because last time we saw you was whenever you got that bad storm. So I was wondering if you made it through all right. But I'm glad to see that you're okay. Proxy, thank you so much for that. That's greatly appreciated. Like I said, we missed you. Everybody here, we all missed you. And like I said, it's good to have you back. And good to see that you're all right. That's for sure. But anyways, but yeah, once again, Proxy, hope you're doing good. Once again, glad to have you here. And once again, thank you so much, Proxy, for the $50 donation. That's super sweet of you, Proxy. Really, really is super sweet. It means a lot. Anyways, but we're going to move our way back here to the models. So like I was explaining here, we also have the European model here we're looking at. In terms of the latest European model, here's the thing that it's a little interesting. In the long range, remember, this is pretty far out, but in the long range, you can kind of see how the European model has this thing getting a little bit more closer towards the U.S. East Coast here. It's kind of pulling similar to what the GFS was showing here. Like I was saying, as of right now, we're not expecting a landfall across the U.S. East Coast. Like I said, we'll let you know if that's a big concern. Like I said, this is still really far out down in time here overall. Like I said, this is still, definitely really far out. But like I said, it's still not ruled out to come near the U.S. East Coast here. Once again, the main ensembles and stuff like that, has the system pulling out to sea, kind of like Franklin did. Like I said, let's hope that's the way it goes. Like I said, we'll definitely have to, continue monitoring this. But yeah, like I said, the latest European model here has this thing getting a little closer to land than I'd actually like. Obviously, I don't want this thing getting anywhere near land, but it gets a little bit closer. And actually, the system seems to grow up in size too. I mean, look at this. Right now, you can see. I mean, later on in its life, it turns into a Cat 1. You can see how it's just kind of a decent sized hurricane actually, but you can see just how larger it grows. I mean, look how large it becomes from there to, from here to here. It grows to be a big storm overall. Let's see here. Let's see. Catherine says, hello, everyone. What's up, Catherine? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. Let's see. What time does the cone get a new update? It'll be at 2 o'clock, 2 Eastern. Let's see here. Interested when planes add information to the models. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, whenever the hurricane hunters go out in it. I don't know if they're planning any missions on it. Unassigned mission. Interesting. There's an unassigned mission here. Unassigned mission. I think that's off the coast of Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, it doesn't say where it's going, and that's a little far from the airport to the storm, so I don't think they're going in that storm. I mean, like I said, y'all, here's the current view once again. I'll go ahead and show you guys this, and then we'll dive into more of those models here in a minute, y'all. But, I mean, like I said, this thing, y'all, has been doing pretty daggone good. It's looking a lot better overall. Once again, we are getting some pretty tight rotation. Obviously, this thing, circulation is becoming well more developed. I mean, it's a beast. It's looking pretty daggone good overall. And like I said, we have some big plumes of convection here in the latest, big convective burst here in the latest scans, which is, like I said, obviously showing that this thing is undergoing a rapid development cycle here. And like I said, it is forecasted to literally have no limitations on it and just to continue to grow and grow and grow. That's the thing that's a little scary about this storm here, is the fact that, there's really nothing stopping this thing to grow out of control. Like I said, but the good news is, like I was saying, though, as of right now, there's no areas in the cone that is impacting land, so that's good. The storm is going to just, forecasted to pass just to the north of the Lesser Antilles and pass just to the north here, Puerto Rico, here overall. But like I said, in terms of the intensification and stuff like that, like I was saying, there's no wind shear. That's not going to shred apart the storm, which is, kind of not really good. I mean, it's good for the hurricane, but not good for, the people who don't want a hurricane here, like me. Obviously, we don't want this. But like I was saying, though, between that and, like I said, all the moisture that's available, there's a lot of moisture. It seems like it just powers straight through. Seems to have really no problems overall with all that. And like I said, there's really not too much limitation on the system here for at least its beginning to middle portion of the life. I mean, like I was saying here, right now, y'all, this thing's almost a Cat 1. I mean, like I said, we're talking sustained winds right now of 70 miles per hour with gusts getting, obviously, higher. It says gusts up to 0 miles an hour, which obviously that's wrong. But gusts, I would imagine, are definitely getting up into the hurricane strength at this point now. And like I was saying, look at this. Look at the big jump it goes from. So right now it's 70 sustained. The next update, or the next, the forecast, the next forecast or track here shows this thing today right at 8 p.m. So this is what? Almost 7 hours? 7 hours and 22 minutes from now, I think. So 7 hours and 22 minutes from now has this thing maximum sustained winds of 85 with gusts up to 105. That is literally a 15 mile per hour jump in like 7 hours is expected due to this rapid intensification process, which is, definitely pretty interesting. Anyways, by tomorrow morning, forecasted to be a Cat 2 hurricane, and actually, by the morning here of Friday, forecasted to be a Cat 3 with sustained winds of 120 with gusts getting up to a whopping 150. And actually, like I said, here for the PM hours here, basically here for the PM hours of, the 8th here, which is for, once again, Friday, this thing is forecasted to be a Cat 4 with sustained winds of 140, gusts up to 165, and these last couple of markers have this thing getting up to 150 with gusts up to 185 mile per hour wind gusts here. Like I said, that is a beast. That is a beast of a storm. And like I said, once again, right now, the good news is that as of right now, there is no areas that's in the cone of uncertainty. But like I was saying, though, for some of these regions out there, obviously for places like, the northern Lesser Antilles and portions here like, Puerto Rico, overall, the storm is going to be coming. I mean, obviously it's tracking, to the north of those regions, but we are going to feel some effects out across those regions. Like I said, rip currents is a for sure thing going to happen there, considering it's so close to the system here, overall. Like I said, we're going to get some of those bands to actually hit portions of those land more than likely across the ways. Definitely something to, keep an eye out there for it. Let's see here. Forever it will move west and hit land. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Like I said, that's kind of the worst case scenario here. Once again, I mean, right now the cone ends. I mean, this is, for the 11th. This is still 5 days out here. So, me, like I always say, guys, on every, forecasting stream, stuff like that, we don't like to forecast more than 5 days out because it starts to get a little hairy. But, unless we have some serious model support, and it seems like it's possible here that this thing could, turn to the north. It seems like the majority of the ensembles and stuff like that show the system actually tracking more here to the north. Let me actually go ahead and show you what I'm talking about here. So here's the GEPS ensembles. You can see the majority of these models here. Let's see, I didn't mean to full screen that. Majority of these models, you can see, has it, turning north here. But a couple of the ensembles is interesting because it kind of continues on a westerly trajectory. Maybe out there towards, the Caribbean and maybe towards southern Florida, according to some of those ensembles. Like I said, odds are pretty low as of now for it going near Florida, so don't freak out. Like I said, nobody should be worried about this right now because, like I said, there's obviously, right now, we do not know if it's going to impact the United States land. But like I said, it's going to come close to, getting near, to the eastern side, getting near the eastern side of the U.S., in which, like I said, some indirect impacts, like I was saying, with the possibility here of, like I was saying, of, rip currents across the U.S. East Coast. And like I said, that's a problem for the people who's planning vacations for next week and stuff like that is, across the U.S. East Coast, big waves and rip currents is going to be a problem, which would, obviously not be too good for your vacation. So like I said, just keep an eye out there for that. But once again, I mean, anything's still up for grabs. I mean, this thing, theoretically could still continue to move to the west, but like I was saying, it seems like we have this big high pressure ridge out here that's going to be set in place across the eastern side of Canada into the Ohio Valley, in which, like I said, according to the models, that's what has it steering out to sea, is because this ridge or this high pressure system is kind of acting like a block or kind of like a barricade here, which is essentially kind of keeping that storm abroad, keeping it away from the coastline. Like I said, that's a possible scenario. That's a possible scenario. I mean, like I was saying again here, it's, nothing's completely ruled out at the moment, but, that's kind of what it seems like in the long extended range here, according to these models for the most part. Let's go ahead and see here. Let's see here. Carlos says, hello to all. I see. I have, and been blessed to, and have a blessed day. Thank you for the information. You're very welcome. I'm here in Puerto Rico. We are very concerned for these systems. I hope no more systems come. Yeah, I agree there, Carlos. Yeah, like I was saying though, they're towards Puerto Rico. Like I said, the storm's going to be passing to your north. It's going to be passing just to your north. So no direct landfall is expected. So you're safe from that. In terms of the system, like I said, the cone of uncertainty, the bottom track, is. It's pretty close to, Puerto Rico, but, we're not expecting a direct landfall. Like I said, what you're probably going to see is a couple bands from the storm, which will, could have some gusty winds, but it shouldn't be anything too extreme overall. Let's see here. Where's the storm heading, says Kelly. So whenever it comes to it here, like I said, right now we're continuing on a westerly trajectory here. I mean, like I said, it is it's a possibility this thing could steer up to the north. Hopefully, like I said, that's obviously the track I'm hoping for. Is that this thing just pulls up to the north, which most of the models for the last couple of days have been actually supporting that here. For example, here's another set of ensembles. This is from the GEFS. You can see another set of ensembles here has it pulling to the north here. It looks like a couple of them getting kind of close to Bermuda, which, obviously Bermuda should monitor the progression of the storm here. Like I said, obviously we have the GEPS Some more ensembles coming through, like we actually showed this here a minute ago. Like I said, pulling to the north again. So it seems like it's a good possibility that this thing, could pull to the north once it approaches here for, September 11th. It could be a possibility. Let's see here. Caitlin says, "Hey Andrew, is Indiana under a margin risk today? If you would know the exact. Yes, I believe it is. Let's double check on that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was. Yesterday there was, anyways. Okay, the eastern side is the only side that has a margin risk today. We're gonna hop you guys real quickly. Yeah, eastern side has a severe threat, level 1 threat, level 1 severe weather threat. We got ourselves a level 2 threat for Louisiana, Arkansas, portion of Mississippi, Alabama, and southwestern Tennessee. So, yeah, there's there's a little threat for severe weather. We got a little cold front rolling through right now, but like I said, no tornadoes is in the forecast for today. So that's that's good news overall. But anyways, all right, we're gonna go ahead and hop you guys over here to some more of the models. We're gonna dive on into like the HWRF and those models here really quickly. Like I said, just a little bit of a disclaimer for y'all. The HWRF is kind of a crazy model, as you guys have probably known for a while. This one can be kind of a little crazy, okay? But anyways, let's go ahead and track this. So you guys can see the time is on the top left. You guys can see it. So this is for the Eastern time zone, by the way. So we're basically talking, right around now. It's just plus 12 hours. This was the last run was 06 Zulu. But we track our way down in time, and like I said, according to the HWRF, I mean, this thing just rapidly strengthens. I mean, we see the strongest point here. It kind of shows for around September 8th, according to this model. Once again, this is just one model opinion here overall. But like I was saying, yeah, this thing just goes rapid intensification. Pressure getting down, according to this model, down into the mid-930s, which is pretty daggone low. Here, oh my gosh, look at that pinhole eye there, according to the HWRF. That is, wow. It turned, wow, look at that. It comes from a pinhole eye to just an absolute monster of an eye. You see that? That is crazy. I mean, look at that thing. So, come on. Dang it. I was waiting for that stupid sneeze. I swear, every time I have to stream, there's always at some point of the stream I have to sneeze, and it never happens. Never ever happens. But yeah, no, the HWRF model has this thing going pretty daggone crazy overall. In terms of the amount of moisture in the system here, like I said, the bluish green color represents a lot of moisture-filled air, a lot of humidity across the upper levels, the lower and the entire atmosphere, basically, from the lower to the upper levels of the atmosphere. And you can kind of see on the northern flank, there's a little bit of dry air, but it seems like it's not going to be too much of a problem because it seems like it's holding on to that moisture pretty well for the next little bit, according to this model overall. But like I was saying, I mean, this thing is supposed to turn into a beast according to the HWRF, which like I said, it's honestly that's pretty valid. That's a pretty valid run there. We got another model. This is the HMON. Let's see here. So this guy pretty much has the same thing happening. Wow, holy cow. This one gets a little low, though. 920 millibars? Holy cow. Let's see here. So, yeah, we got ourselves that. 920 millibars according to the HMON. That is like that's a beefy cyclone there, according to the HMON model. Which, like I said, pressure getting down that low, that's definitely in the Cat 4 plus range in terms of pressure equivalence. So, yeah, definitely going to be a little beast there. So the models are definitely picking this thing up to be a pretty powerful storm. Even the GFS here. Here's the latest. Let's see here. Yeah, the latest GFS is still kind of brewing, but you can kind of see here that rapid intensification down, pressure equivalent to the 930 millibar zone is expected. And according to the look at the pixelated hurricane here from the GFS. The GFS is not really a high resolution model. But overall, I mean, like I said, basically, it's according to the model still supposed to have a pretty crazy eye structure there, which is definitely interesting. Let's see here. It's not going to hit land, says Donkey. You don't know that, man. You really don't know that. And like I said, that's what we need to monitor. As of right now in the forecast, this thing is, like I said, not expected to hit anywhere, but like I said, some of the models have it getting a little close to the U.S. East Coast. Some of them have it getting pretty close to Bermuda. Like I said, there's still no ruled out scenarios at the moment. So obviously we still got to be keeping an eye out there for it regardless. I mean, like I said, across the U.S. East Coast, I mean, it's still not a ruled out scenario, as well as Bermuda. Like I said, you don't know that. You really do not know that. And like I said, the models we've actually looked at here, it seems like some of the models or most of them have it pulling to the north here, which hopefully that's the way it goes. But we'll have to definitely just continue watching out there for that overall. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop you guys over here back to the HWRF model. Once again, this the HWRF here, or sorry, the ECMWF model, the ECMWF. Yeah, we already looked at the HWRF. The ECMWF here, the European model, in terms of the perspective here. Let's go and hop you guys back here to the North Atlantic. So, I mean, like I was saying, I'm a little surprised, with the European model here. Like I said, the European model is usually the one that's conservative, usually the one that is basically, essentially the one that is, known to be the most accurate model. Once again, obviously, you just can't trust one model, though, as you guys probably know that. But according to the ECMWF, I mean, this thing, 918 millibars at its lowest, according to the ECMWF, which is crazy. Definitely is, pretty crazy there. But anyways, that is kind of what we are seeing there overall. I mean, this thing is going to track its way here to the west here, and you can see, like I said, the European model here overall. I mean, kind of pulls what the GFS was talking about here, for the last couple of days, and kind of pulling a little closer to the U.S. East Coast. Like I said, hopefully that's not the case. Like I said, we have a ridge out there that's going to be, set in place across eastern, Canada into portions of the Ohio Valley. Like I said, whenever it comes to it, that should help keep it out away from land. But, overall, that's that. Do I trust the GFS or the European model more? So, like I said, obviously you can't. I mean, some models I've seen, some runs, different events, I should say. I've seen the European model more superior over one event, and I've seen the GFS more over another. Like I said, you can't really just fully trust one model. But like I said, statistically, it's proven that the European model is considered to be the most accurate overall. Let's see here. Beware those spaghetti models, like way far behind. Just a little jiggle, and it hits the Caribbean. Yeah, like I said, there's still a lot of unknowns at this moment here. Like I said, there still is, this thing could still could change and stuff like that. So, and it will most likely, it will definitely change over the next couple of days. I mean, like I said, basically from 5 days from now, the storm's going to be directly just north here of, Puerto Rico. From 5 days from now, so September 11th, it's going to be right there just north of Puerto Rico. And like I said, there's anything is still possible on the track here. It could, get a little closer to the U.S. coast. It still, can't be ruled out, unfortunately. But like I said, obviously there is a few models that, most of the models seems like it takes it out to sea away from the U.S. mainland. Like I said, once again, I hope that is the way that, thing goes here. Let's see here. Do I think that Lee could pull a Hugo and barrel towards South Carolina? Once again, like I was saying, it's as of now, there's not too many models that supports it going hitting the U.S. East Coast. But like I said, once again, things are the scenario is not ruled out completely. It's still not ruled out completely. I mean, like I said, we're still a couple days away from this guy. I mean, once again, here at the end of the forecast, this is for September 11th, like I was saying, which is 5 days away from now. And you can see that there is still a bit of distance from where it's going to be in 5 days and where it's going to be, across whatever region it'll be at. It's still, several days away. Let's see here. No question, Sandy or worse. Let's hope not. Like I said, let's definitely hope it doesn't do anything like that overall. So I really don't want it to hit the Carolinas. Yeah, I hear you, DJ. I hear you. I don't want it to get anywhere near the U.S. coast. I mean, like I said, once again, the best case scenario, like I was saying here, is that, this thing passes just between Bermuda and the U.S. East Coast, like, Franklin did. But like I said, even with that trajectory overall, that would put the U.S. coastlines at risk for rip currents and stuff like that. Because, once again, you get such a massive storm, and it rolls pretty close. I mean, not, pretty close to the shoreline here, but I mean, it'll definitely crack up those waves. That's for sure. The waves will get have bigger waves, and you'll also have some rip current concerns. The currents pulling away from the shoreline, which could be a problem. Could be a problem. Let's see here. Hello, Andrew. Hope you're doing well. You as well, Crystal. Let's see. Pat says at this point anything is possible. Just be prepared. Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to say here. Is that there is still a lot of scenarios on the line here. Things can definitely still change, and they most certainly will change. They definitely will change. They're 100% going to change here by the time we approach the the end of the forecast track we have right now. You can see how the cone of uncertainty really gets more wider towards the end of the cone here, is because there's more uncertainty that grows. I mean, like I said, according to the cone of uncertainty, I mean, the bottommost layer could go as far down south as this area, or could go as far down. This is the center, by the way. The center could go as far north as over here. according to the latest Hurricane Center's forecast here overall. So, like I said, that's this red cone here. That's where the center of the storm could roll through. It could be anywhere in that region there. Let's see here. What is the most realistic outcome, says Tabletop? Like I said, personally, from all the support I've seen for the last several days, and like I said, a lot of ensembles, and stuff like that. Personally, like I said, it seems like it'll be a storm that's going to turn. Obviously, turning to the north is pretty much a for sure thing between the models at this point. It'll probably, maybe do something similar to this track. Like I said, obviously, there's really no way of telling what's going to happen past this line. Without, obviously, like I said, because once again, this is obviously, like I said, plus, this is literally 5 days away here from the point it's going to be just north of Puerto Rico, like I was saying here, and which, from the point of 5 days from now and the point of where it goes, north, there's several days between that. Let's see here. But like I said, the most realistic, I think, it's going to pass between Bermuda and the U.S. East Coast. That's what I'm hoping for. That would be the best case scenario overall. Yeah, hopefully it'll do that. Let's see here. Is it possible for a weak high to get overpowered by the strong low? So like we were talking about, yeah, no, there is that high pressure ridge that's going to possibly be, present, potentially according to a lot of the models here across eastern Canada and the Ohio Valley. Depending on the strength, like I was saying here, obviously, the high pressure, if it's, to the left of the system, it could, obviously, help deflect the storm out to sea more. But obviously, like I said, the problem is if that high pressure is more to the east, like I was explaining here for a couple days ago, if it's more to the east here, it could, funnel it closer to the U.S. coastline, which, like I said, that would be more of the bad outcome overall. So, like I was saying here, it is anything's still up for grabs here at this point. Point in being, but it seems a little more likely like it's going to push more to the, push more up north. Once again here, like I said, in the long range support and stuff like that, like from the ensembles and everything, you could see how it, tracks its way here to the north here. Once again though, like I said, this is still, several days out. The storm is right in here. It has a while to track. It's 5 days to track until it reaches over here. But then, like I said, after that point, you can see how most of the ensembles show this thing, pulling to the north, and here's another set of ensembles as well showing kind of the same thing. So model support, even the main spaghetti models at the end of the run, you can kind of see how it has a slight northern turn to it. So as of now, that seems like probably the best case, or the most likely case scenario here overall. But like I said, once again, like I said, you should still monitor this, because this will certainly change still. This will definitely still probably hop back around overall. Let's actually take a look here back at the GFS. We actually have a new run that just came through. Yeah, kind of showing exactly what I was talking about here. Overall, the most likely case scenario, the GFS is kind of pulled out to it. Let's go ahead and pull out the North Atlantic here. So the GFS has this thing, squeezing right between, Bermuda as well as the U.S. East Coast here. Getting a little close there to the coastline, but according to it, it kind of pulls up to the north here, and then stays away from touching U.S. landfall, but U.S. land there. But that's what the new GFS. This is the newest GFS model, is what it's showing here overall. But yeah, that's kind of what I was saying, that the most likely case scenario that I personally see could be. Considering the amount of resources we have available to us right now. With all the models and, like I said, the ensembles and all that stuff, and what they're showing, that's that. Let's see here. Proxy says, Andrew, based on the vulnerability of Florida to hurricanes, are you uncomfortable about your move to the state, or does the idea of lots of heavy weather observe appeal to you? Yeah, kind of. It kind of appeals to me, actually. Where I'm gonna be more central Florida. So obviously, whenever hurricanes come near me, I'm gonna be obviously not near the coastlines, which is the coastlines is what gets it the worst, obviously, because they get the surges and stuff like that. But I've always had that side of me that's loved storm chasing. I've storm chased a lot in my days, as well as tropics, stuff like that. So personally, I would be interested to observe the weather. Obviously, I wouldn't wish it upon anybody. That's for sure. But like I said, obviously, if it does happen, I I wouldn't mind it too much per se, for the sake of observing it, I should say. You know, not specifically. Like I said, once again, I do not want it to obviously cause any damage, but you know, for the sake of it, for observing, yeah. Let's see here. Louisville, Kentucky isn't a stranger to tornadoes. Let's see. Yeah, no, Louisville's had some tornadoes in its past. Back in 1976, I believe, we had that big outbreak. Big, I think it was an EF4 or an EF5, I think. It might have been or it wasn't the EF, it was an F5 at that point because they didn't have the enhanced Vegeta scale at that point. But yeah, no, that was, yeah, they got hit pretty good. That's for sure. Let's see. So I'm feeling it's going to do the same thing as Florence. It says Forest here seems to keep ticking closer if it can get caught between the highs and stall over North Carolina. Like I said, let's hope not. That would be, like I said, one of the worst case scenarios here is if this thing does kind of pull what Florence did. I mean, like I said, if you guys remember Florence here, you know, in terms of Florence, obviously Florence came and, you know, hit the Carolinas there. It just kept on tracking west and kept on tracking west here. I mean, like I said, you know, that's... there's not too many models that support that happening right now. I mean, like I said, obviously the GFS, you know, was the one that was mostly showing that beforehand. Now the GFS, you know, keeps it mostly out to sea. And like I said, now the European models, like, you know what, could get a little more closer. Like I said, the European model has this thing, you know, in that last frame, you can see just how close it gets to, landfall there, which, you know, it's not really too good. But like I said, we have that high pressure out there, which, and once again, should, depending on its placement and its strength, it should, you know, deflect the storm out, which could be a good possibility. Let's see here. Kathleen says, let's see here. Thanks, Proxy. All right, yeah. Once again, Proxy, thank you so much earlier for the support. Greatly appreciate it. Like I said, we're glad to have you back, Proxy. Like I said, you know, I was a little worried about you. I was hoping that you were okay with, you know, with that storm. Like I said, the last time I heard from you was that big storm and the power went out and everything like that. Like, holy cow. Shirtman, no, it will not impact West Virginia. It will not hit West Virginia. Because, like I said, you're too far inland to where the fact it'll, you know, even if it does come near West Virginia, it would shrivel up and basically just die out, essentially. But, no, that's not the expectancy. Like I said, right now, guys, the expectancy is that, you know, this is pretty much as far out as we should track is where the cone is right now. I mean, like I said, you know, we're talking 5 days out at the point of it being right here. So, like I said, and a lot can happen in 5 days. The models will definitely change here, you know, within the next 5 days. You know, as we approach this region here. Once again, this is for September 11th here, showing it just north, like I said, of Puerto Rico. And by the time the storm's here, we'll have a lot more information to tell you guys on this. And like I said, I mean, once again, like I was saying, the possible scenarios, though, like I said, you know, the best case scenario, like I was saying, which hopefully this thing pulls out to sea and remains away from all areas of land, you know, overall here. But like I was saying here, guys, I mean, you know, overall, like I said, even if it does take this path, I mean, there is a possibility that this thing could have some, you know, rip current issues. I think my pen is breaking there. But like I said, yeah, rip current issues could be a possibility. I mean, even if it does take that path because of the system's mass. I mean, it's just such a strong system. I mean, it's just a large system too. It's forecasted to be that it would cause, you know, possible rip current problems, you know, here overall. And of course, like I said, you know, the worst case scenario is that some of the models has this thing getting a little too close to landfall, which, you know, like I said, hopefully that's not the case overall. Let's see here. Interesting weather patterns in the Gulf as well. Yeah. Let's see here. Monica says, guys, we know the rundown of these hurricanes and those 40s and older sea things can change on a dime. Let's see here. During the weather enhancement system, we could see major issues. So, Monica. Yeah, like I said, you know, things are bound to change. You know, that's a factor. You know, this thing could definitely shift last minute. I mean, it's like I said. I mean, anything. There is still both those scenarios up for grabs. You know, like I said, let's hope not. Let's hope it's the better case scenario. But, you know, regardless, the point is that we're trying to get this out to you guys so you guys know that there's a tropical system that's kind of aiming closer to the U.S. Like I said, obviously, I'm not saying it's going to directly hit the U.S., which, you know, that's still unknown at this point. I'm not saying it's going to go out to sea because that's still practically unknown. But, you know, personally, from, like I said, the resources that we have available with the models and stuff like that, from what they've been trending as well, it seems like it's going to pull north here. but I mean, once again, it's like I said, it could change in a matter of a dime. Like you're saying, Monica, it really can. Let's see here. Nashville, we get twisters all the time. Now it's scary, says Mark. Yeah, they can happen. Yeah, they can definitely happen out there. That's for sure. You know, especially those QLCS tornadoes y'all can get sometimes. Yeah, they could happen. Let's see. But yeah, but like I said, guys, you know, we're just going to have to continue monitoring this here. Once again, here's the current spaghetti plots, spaghetti models. Oops. Accidentally hit it behind there. Here's the latest spaghetti models. Once again, this is, you know, the spaghetti models that you guys probably have seen before. You know, like I was saying, they're on the southern side. You know, we have those two models that's kind of supporting this thing, you know, a little bit further to the south. Then, like I said, the main models have to show here for the most part. You can see the main density is right in here. I mean, like I said, the models are fair on agreement here for the most part. This thing's just going to continue tracking to the west. You know, obviously continue moving to the west. And at 5-day point, it'll be just north of Puerto Rico. Then you see a slight curvature to the north. You know, what the ensembles are showing, as well as, you know, what the ensembles are showing, and as well as, you know, the spaghetti models are starting to show at the end of the cycle here. Could pull to the north. Once again, here's those ensembles again I was talking about. You can see how they kind of support this thing pulling up to the north, essentially. Let's see. So this is the next run a critical moment on how most likely it'll go? It's gonna take a couple days there. Yeah, J Mitch. It's gonna take probably, you know, 2 to 3 days before we can, you know, with confidence say which direction it's most likely gonna go to. You know, like I said, obviously at the point being, we're right here. This is right where the storm's at. I mean, right now, like I said, right now it's an upper tropical storm. It's like literally close to a Cat 1 hurricane right now. But, you know, like I was saying, overall, guys, I mean, this thing is, you know, still a ways away from those regions there. Let's see here. The models starting to come out. Yep. We just got a new GFS update. We looked at that a minute ago. Yeah, the GFS has it pulling out to sea though in the long range, which hopefully that's the case. Justin says HAFS-A. Let's go and take a look at that actually. Yeah, I know the HAFS has been kind of a crazy model. I've always seen the HAFS as kind of a really nuts model. I think it's a newer model too. I don't think it's too old. Yeah, I see what you mean though. We have a new runs coming out. Let's go and hop to that previous 06 Zulu run here, which, oh my gosh, yeah, getting down to nine teens here essentially. I mean, holy cow, yeah, this model's pretty nuts. Regardless though, I mean, no problems with dry air. It looks like for the first beginning part of its life. Maybe a little bit of dry air could be possible, but you know, nothing that's gonna, you know, seriously destabilize the storm and freak it, like, you know, kill it out or anything. You know, that does not seem to be a possibility there as of now, according to those models. You know, all the models show this thing remaining. Oh, what the heck? 901, according to the HAFSB. This is what I'm telling you guys. This model is nuts. What the heck, dude? 901 millibars, according to the HAFSB. Like, that is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Shows rapid development, though. I mean, rapid strengthening, yeah. I mean, like I said, you know, in the environment, for what we do know, there is not going to be hardly any limitations with the system here. I mean, like I said, we have a lot of warm waters. You know, the storm's tracking through. A lot of warm waters is tracking through, like I was saying. You know, a lot of moisture available from the lower to upper portions of the atmosphere, as well as, like I was saying, the, you know, basically the lack of wind shear. You know, there's not much winds aiming right at the storm, so you know, it's not going to really shred the storm apart because there's no winds to do that, which, you know, is foreign to the storm itself. It's crazy. Justin says 900 millibars. Does it get down to 900? I only see it down to 90. Let's see, 902 there. 901. That's ridiculous. That is, yeah. Honestly, you know, we don't see too many models showing that, so that's kind of an iffy thing there. Let's see here. HMON. Yeah, HMON shows this guy getting pretty strong too, down in the 920s. It seems like there's more and more models that's kind of supporting this thing, the pressure-wise, getting down that low. Very well stacked too. I mean, this thing is, yeah, very healthy looking on the future models because there's not much wind. You can see the relative humidity there in the eye is very low, which is good. the winds are pretty well stacked up there as well. I mean, looks pretty good. It definitely does look pretty good overall. Here for the most part. Do I think it'll hit to New England? Like I said, Easton, it's too early to tell that. I mean, there's really no way of being sure if it's going to get near there or not right now. Because like I said, that's still several days away from now. Yeah, it still is several days out. Like I said, from the point A to point B, this is point A where it's at right now. The point B where it's at the end of its forecast here from the Hurricane Center. I mean, even at that point, there's still a lot of road it has to travel. So, obviously that's kind of that. Let's see, can I explain the millibar? Actually, I explained that the other day. So, millibar is a way of, determining the pressure. The lower the pressure is in a cyclone, the more stronger it is. So, like, for example, I mean, if you see the pressures down from the lower thousands to, like, maybe the upper 80s, kind of around tropical storm force, I mean, roughly, estimate, roughly, 980s to 970s, kind of Cat 1, 970s to 960s, roughly Cat 2. 960s, 950s, Cat 3, 950s, 940s, Cat 4. Roughly, like I said, roughly. You can't determine the exact strength based off of the pressure, but you can get an idea. Obviously the storm size could definitely influence that as well. Smaller the size with the deeper pressure, that's a really powerful storm overall. But yeah. See, such a quiet season seems overdue, says Dirty. I agree. Like I said, we're actually in an El Nino, which El Nino favors more stronger wind shear. El Nino means there's a lot stronger trade winds, which is known to rip apart these storms. And despite the El Nino we're in, we're actually in a fairly strong El Nino right now. And despite the El Nino, seems to have no effect on the Atlantic hurricane season. And like I was saying, the Hurricane Center, they actually have the expected amounts to be higher. The expected amount of storms to be higher than it typically would for an average El Nino. Actually going towards an active year, according to him. Let's see here. You're the best. I appreciate you explaining, says Linda. You're very, very welcome. Like I said, I try to do the best I can, but that's kind of the ballpark region. Obviously that pressure. But anyways, yeah. Once again, everybody, this is the current system right now. This is what Lee looks like at the current moment. Once again, the circulation of the storm is very well defined. This guy is definitely really cranking, and like I said, in the last few frames, you can see this big convective burst that happens there. Still showing some rapid strengthening as expected. It's still on the road, still on the right track to, what the forecast has it to. Once again, warm surface temperatures, a lot of warm ocean temperatures, warm ocean waters, very warm, a lot of moisture available. No wind shear either. This thing's starting to vent pretty good too. You can see how the winds or the clouds are kind of moving more to the northwest and kind of northwest there, which that's the venting process already started to take place. And you can obviously see that, the circulation here, the lower level clouds, as well as you can actually see briefly. You can see over here how they're pulling into the storm. Look right there. The lower level clouds right here pulling east. So this thing's definitely got a pretty daggone good circulation going on it, that's for sure. Like I said, with these big convective bursts, anytime you see that, that's basically saying that the storm is, in a pretty conducive environment, and it's, strengthening, usually. If you see these big convective bursts around the center like that, as the system is, barreling through. It actually looks like a couple more convective bursts are starting to kind of pop up here to the west. You see that right there? A little bit more thunderstorm activity starting to pop up there. But yeah, big convective burst right there towards the center. So it's kicking strong. And like I said, right now, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you guys back here to the current track. The current part of the storm right now. Like I said, the storm right now is at the current moment, sustained winds of 70 miles per hour. Like I said, it has to be 75 plus to be considered a hurricane. So it's short 5 mile an hour winds from becoming a Cat 1. So it's right at that level. It's right at upper tropical storm, lower Cat 1 right now. It's almost a hurricane here. I mean, it is literally on the boundary. So yeah, but like I said, this thing is forecasted to actually be a hurricane here by later on this evening, about 8 p.m. This thing's forecasted to be a decent Cat 1 with sustained winds around 85, gusts up to 105 being possible. Cat 2 by tomorrow morning looks to be a possibility. By Friday morning, Cat 3. By Friday afternoon, Cat 4 seems to be the expectancy out here. So definitely we are expecting rapid intensification, like I was saying here. Let's see here. I think this thing's a hurricane now. Honestly, yeah, I kind of agree with you there. Considering that latest convective burst, like I said, I believe that burst started after that new update came out at 11 o'clock. So yeah, this has been been popping off here for a while. I think you're right though. I think this thing is right on that low in Cat 1 status right now. It's got to be really daggone close if it's not there. You know, it's got to at least be over 70 miles an hour at this point. Let's see here. Monica said to talk to people in the, let's see, Forty Beach side. Sand is so hot, people are warned to wear shoes due to the burning of, yeah, that's true. Water is hotter than 90 degrees. I'll feed these storms. Yeah, like I said, so for tropical systems, you got to have the ocean temperatures 26 degrees Celsius or warmer, which is, 26 Celsius. I'm going to do the conversion for you guys real quickly. Still trying to get the conversions down perfectly, but 26 Celsius to Fahrenheit is 78 degrees Fahrenheit. So it has to be 78 degrees Fahrenheit or warmer to, sustain / strengthen a bit. Obviously, the waters here in the Gulf of Mexico, or not the Gulf, but the Atlantic, sorry, and the Gulf too, I should really say. But across the regions, you can see once again, like I said, at least 26. Everywhere's 30 plus. Across the main area here, which is crazy. Like I said, that's why there's so much rapid development. With the system, the storm's gonna be tracking through 29, 30 degrees Celsius waters, which is, like 3 to 4 degrees Celsius warmer than expected. I mean, like I said, that is crazy. That is crazy. Basically nearly 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than what it's needed to be. Let's see here. This storm vaguely reminds me of Andrew, says Adam. Andrew was a pretty small storm from what I remember. I mean, I wasn't alive during Andrew, but I've studied Andrew. Andrew was a kind of a small and fast-moving storm from what I remember. But this guy, in terms of this one here, it's it's moving pretty slow for the most part. But the width, the storm is forecasted to get pretty large. Right now it's just a little guy, but it's gonna see how. I mean, even on this model shows how large it actually gets here overall. I mean, gets a little bit bigger. I mean, you can see the size of it there, pretty small, and then look at the size of it here. It definitely looks like it picks up in some size overall. So, Forever Blessed says bye. See you later. Let's see here. Just a guess, but where do I think that Lee will make landfall? So, like I said, once again, there's a lot of scenarios still available here. I mean, once again, I don't like forecasting plus 5 days out, but it's still not a for sure thing it's going to make landfall. That's the thing, y'all. Don't expect a landfall quite yet. Okay, because there's still a lot of things that need to be worked out. The models are still going to need to run for a while. We're going to need to collect more data on the atmosphere before we can, make that assumption. But, from what the available resources we have right now, it looks like at the end of its cone, it's going to start tracking to the north a bit, which seems to be a good possibility. A good possibility overall. Andrew is a buzzsaw. Yeah, Andrew hit Louisiana too, I believe. Hit southern Florida and then rolled straight into the Gulf and went straight up there towards Louisiana. Yeah, Andrew was a crazy storm. It's named after me, I guess. Or I guess I'm named after it. Think of it that way, because Andrew happened in 92. I was born in 02, so. Let's see, Andrew's Daily Beyond Words. Horrible. Yeah. Yeah, people fear Andrew, says Monica. Yep. Considering that's literally my name. But, like I said, yeah, Andrew was pretty bad. It hit Miami, I believe. I think it hit South Miami, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of hit right in here. Right in that area near Homestead and this little bay area. Hit right in there. It's crazy. Andrew was a crazy storm. Like I said, there's no reason, guys, to compare this to Andrew, though. That's the thing. There's no reason to compare this to Andrew because, there's nothing right now that this looks like Andrew at the moment. Like I said, from what we know, it does not look like Andrew. Overall. Let's see, Andrew hit in 96 in August. PayPal, it was 92 when Andrew hit. Yep, 1992. Let's see, it came 25 miles from me, says Monica. Holy cow. That's crazy. That is crazy. You see some S things up in Louisiana, says PayPal. Yeah, it hit Florida, and that's the thing a lot of people don't understand is that Andrew hit Florida and hit Louisiana. It, went like something like this, which was interesting. Let's see, Justin wants me to take a look here at the HAFS A and B again. Those models, like I said, those are a little too chaotic here. I mean, I think that's kind of like the worst case scenario models. I mean, obviously it's a little a little scary. But we have the new runs coming through here. We'll go ahead and hop you guys over there real quickly. But like I said, these models seems to be like the worst case scenario. Yeah, the new one has it getting on the 930s. But look at this. Yeah, according to the last, down into the upper 19 area. Let's see, it was 92, 996. Yeah, no, it was 92. But like I said, yeah, HAFSB, once again, y'all, this model has this thing getting crazy. Let's see. That is just ridiculous. Yeah, continues track into the west here, though. Continues track into the west. And, like I said, more than likely, according to some of these models here, this thing could pull, it's forecasted it could pull up to the north here. Planet says this thing's a Sandy 2.0. Let's hope not. Yeah, I was alive during Sandy. I remember Sandy. I mean, I was 10 years old at that point. That was back in 2012. Yep, back in 2012. Sandy was a beast. Let's see here. Andrew's the worst case for sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. If 901 is possible, that could be below 900 at some point. This is scary. Like I said, that's really the worst case scenario. Like I said, obviously, overall, I don't see that happening right now. Considering the support we have, at least at the moment, I mean, most of these models support the 930s, 930 millibar zone, which is, that's that. Justin says I was looking at the 060, not 12Z. Well, the 12Z is still coming through. Yeah, 12 Zulu is still coming through here. You can see right now. Yeah, this is the end of it. Yeah, we already looked at this, actually. 27. But like I said, once again, it seems like these models here are kind of one of the worst case scenario type of situations here. Here's the spaghetti plots. Once again, y'all. Here, go ahead. I'm actually going to full screen this for you guys. Make it look a little better. But yeah, you can see the spaghetti models here. I mean, obviously, they're not really too bunched. I mean, obviously, the majority of them are, fairly bunched up. But we have a couple of those, outcasters there kind of tracking more to the south, according to the EGR2 and the UK M2 model. So, like I said, there's a bit of differences according to those models, but for the most part, they are relatively, decently agreeing on the track for the most part. I mean, they're not right on each other, but they're close. Continuous motion to the northwest is expected for the next 5 days, essentially. That's basically something that we do know that will happen more than likely. And like I said, obviously the guidance here. Once again, here's the here is the intensity models. Like I said, based off the spaghetti models. Here's the intensity guidance here. Showing the system, middle ground, getting up into at least Cat 4. Like that at this point is very much likely to happen. It's forecasted to definitely happen here. Let's see here. Where do I think that Lee will hit? Like I said, there's no way of saying it's gonna even hit the U.S. There's still unknown, if it will or not. Like I said, there's definitely a lot of stuff that could still change overall. I mean, like I was saying, the track could still go out to sea. I mean, we also can't, like I said, I hate to say it, but we can't rule out an East Coast landfall either. But like I said, we also can't rule it out going out to sea either. I mean, there's a lot of scenarios that this thing could still do. It's a lot of scenarios. But it seems like the latest, kind of pulls up to the north here at the end. Let's see here. Finn says, I got COVID. I can't stay here much. Sounds good, man. Yeah, like I said, obviously, get better, dude. Like I said, you don't have to hang around here. Let's see here. TRG says, all right, I'm going to head out, Andrew. Have a great day. You as well, TRG. Let's see here. Kat says, how am I doing? I'm doing good. So can you let me know what's going on in the Gulf of Mexico and toward Dothan, Alabama? Thank you. Lee is my middle name. Interesting. Well, I can show you real quickly what's going on out there. There's really not much, actually. The only thing that we have happening up in Alabama is, we're going to show you guys. We do have a little severe weather risk today, y'all. The northwestern and kind of northern side of the state has, caused a dark green, and the yellow has a shot for a couple severe storms today. But in terms of the Gulf, you can really see on the infrared view, we've got a couple thunderstorms off the coast here, but, really nothing too crazy. Really no big threat for you, my friend. Let's see here. Azure says, let's see. Are there longer base models that predict a week ahead? There is, yes, there is models that predict, out that far, but the accuracy is questionable. Accuracy is very questionable. Like I said, I'll go ahead and show you what I'm talking about here. So we have the GFS model. This is one of the ones that goes out pretty far. Like I said, it's obviously never good to forecast really, really far out because the models become very uncertain. The GFS model you can see here has it getting close, getting close to the northeast, a little close to my liking. Previous run before that has it coming right over the northeast. Run before that showed the same thing for the last couple of runs. Big differences on the models here. There's still a lot of stuff that can change here. But yeah, no, the latest model has this thing, just skimming right near the northeast. But once again, that's long range. It's not really too accurate out that far. Once again, we have the ECMWF model. This is the European model here overall. Let's see. Yeah, the latest run we have here is Zero Zulu, unfortunately. But this guy, like I said, the Zero Zulu run has it getting a little closer to the East Coast than it was previously determining here. So, let's see here. Gregory says, hello Andrew. I know you're talking about the hurricane, but when will severe thunderstorms start firing through Indiana? Let's see. It actually looks like they could start firing off here within the next couple of hours, actually. Next couple of hours. Probably more towards the end of this evening, or late afternoon, early evening, it looks like. Let's see. Thank you for looking at that for me. Have a safe one, everyone. You as well, Kat. You as well. Let's see here. I'm in Puerto Rico, says Handy. Gotcha. Yeah, like I said, Puerto Rico, once again, the storm's going to be passing to the north of Puerto Rico. It's forecasted to. So, like I said, Puerto Rico, I'm not worried of a direct landfall or anything like that. But, like I said, there's probably going to be some of those outer bands that theoretically could, impact Puerto Rico, depending on its, if it tracks more to the north, it's more unlikely. But the more further south, if it does track more south, then some of those bands could reach, in theory. As well as, like I said, rip current concerns. You got such a massive storm rolling right next to you, it's just going to, throw those waves are everywhere. It's going to throw those waves all over the place here, which is, not really good. Let's see here. Azur says, thank you, Andrew. You truly are outstanding. I appreciate all your great knowledge. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it, Azur. Hopefully I was saying your name right. Is it Azur? Greg says, okay, I'll keep an eye out there for the storms here in northeast Indiana. Yeah, got to keep an eye out there for. Like I said, it is a pretty low threat for overall severe weather out there, across your region, my friend. But, like I was saying, it's still not ruled out. Still not ruled out. All right, well, guys, like I said, I gotta make my winter forecast. If you guys noticed, I have my old shirt on that I used for my last forecast my last winter forecast. I still have it, so I put that back on. It actually has a big rip on it, which is why I don't wear it anymore. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a big rip right here. I have another shirt on under it, but there's literally a big rip in the shirt, which sucks because I love this shirt. I love this shirt, but I have another black shirt under it, so you can't really see that. But wearing it for the old standards here. But yeah, so I'm going to work on my winter forecast as soon as I get off the live stream here today, you guys. Like I said, I've been working on it for like the last 3 or 4 days or so. Got all the graphics done. I got everything. So you guys can be expecting that winter forecast from us here very soon. It's going to come out very soon. Let's see. Finn says, I truly believe you are the best weather streamer. No other weatherman besides you and TRG. Because I can come close. Finn, I appreciate that. See, where can I buy? I have this off of the page here, but we got some merch. I think it's in the description if you guys want to check that out. I don't know if it's still there or not. Yes, it is. Yep, check the description. First link in the description. That's our merchandise if you guys would be interested in it. But yeah. Let's see here. The Forge says, hey there, just found your channel. Searching Storm Chasers. I love the info and knowledge. I'm in New York City, hoping that I can keep it away. Oh, I hear you. Well, first of all, thanks for joining. Glad to have you here. But no, I agree, man. I definitely agree. On the system, like I was talking about here, like I said, with the models and stuff like that, we do have this ridge, this high pressure that's going to be in place, across Canada and the Ohio Valley. This will determine a lot. this will determine a lot. Like I said, if this high pressure remains more to the west, which is the most the most beneficial way, if it remains more to the to the west here, it could help ricochet the storm out to sea more. But like I was saying though, if the high pressure is more in this area here, it could honestly help funnel it in a little closer, which would not be really good. So like I said, the high pressure, that has a lot to do with the steering of the storm here. Has a lot to do with it overall. Let's see here. First round of rain, but I didn't know when the severe rounds will reach Columbia City, Indiana. Gotcha. Yeah, towards Fort Wayne. Yeah, we actually had a couple of thunderstorms here earlier today as well. I'm to your south. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. So had a couple of them. They weren't really, wasn't any lightning or anything that I remember of. Let's see. There might have been actually. No, there was. Yeah, there was lightning apparently. I have a lightning tracker outside, so I looked at it. Yeah, there was lightning with it. I just didn't hear any thunder with it. But no, we got some storms here earlier as well. But yeah, gonna have to keep an eye out there for this, my friends. Here overall, like I said, there's still a lot that's on the table. A lot of things that can change here overall, guys. There's still a lot of things up for grab that we need to be paying attention to. Once again, it could come close to the U.S. It could not. There's kind of a big weighing thing going on right now. I mean, like I said, what we do know is that this thing's going to continue moving northwest for the first 5 days. And like I said, 5 days from now, September 11th, around the morning, 8 a.m. or so, it's forecasted to be here just north of Puerto Rico. Potentially really strong, too. Like I said, sustained winds of 150 with gusts getting up to 185 seems to be possible. So, yeah, it's pretty beefy. Let's see. How long the storm's going to last in Louisville? Probably not too long. Yeah, it's just a cold front rolling through. Once this cold front sweeps through, you usually don't get much more after that. But anyways. All right. Well, guys, I tell you what, we've been live for a little over an hour. I think we're going to head off here for this tropical update. We'll do another update more than... I say update again. Oh, my gosh. We'll do another update here. More than likely this evening. I have to work on my winter forecast. I have to make that right now. So as soon as I get off the live stream, I'm going to go run upstairs, grab my graphics, come downstairs. I have to transfer them from my laptop. I worked on them on my laptop, and I have to bring them down to my desktop, stuff like that. So got a bit of work I got to do. As soon as I get off the live stream here with you guys, I'm gonna spend time editing and recording this video for a couple hours, and we'll get that winter forecast made for you guys. All the graphics are done. I just need to report it. That's all I really need to do. But yeah, no, once again, I'll try to do a live stream here tonight. I'm not sure what time to be exact, what time we'll go back live. I'm guessing after 9 or so. So it'll probably be, it would probably be later this evening. But yeah, guys, if you've not already, please consider subscribing, leave a like, it'd be greatly appreciated. Like I said, we really don't ask for much on this channel, y'all know that, but if you guys could leave a like at least, it'd be greatly appreciated. Like I said, it really does help everything out. And actually, y'all, we're 10 subscribers away. Holy cow, I just realized we're 10 subscribers away from 18,300. Holy cow. So guys, if you can, consider subscribing. It'll be greatly appreciated, guys. We're so close. Let's see if we can reach that goal tonight. 10 more subscribers. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see here. Thank you, Andrew Logan. You're very welcome. DJ says it's the same. You're very welcome, y'all. Justin says thanks, Andrew. You're very welcome, Justin. You guys, greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Let's see here. Come back when it's a Cat 2 later today. Yeah. I don't know if it'll be Cat 2 today, but it'll be more than likely a Cat 1. Proxy says, have a great rest of your day, Andrew. Thanks for all you do for us. You're very welcome, Proxy. Like I said, we're glad to have you here, Prox. And once again, thank you so much for the support. Like I said, yeah, the donation came through. We had one donor for today, which was Proxy, coming up to big support. Thank you so much, Proxy. Once again, that is very sweet of you. You did not have to do that. Like I said, obviously, y'all, I really don't care about, like I said, it's greatly appreciated. It means a lot, but like I said, the money is not the point of this channel. I mean, like I said, it's what I do for a living, but once again, like I said, though, it's just keeping you guys informed. It's all we care about. So, y'all save your money. You'll definitely save your money. But once again, thank you so much, though, Proxy. Let's see, Chris also coming in with the support as well. Chris coming in here with the Tropical Storm membership. Thank you so much, Chris. It's greatly appreciated, both of you guys. So Chris and Proxy, thank you guys for supporting us today. Be greatly appreciated, y'all. Once again, I'm going to work on this winter forecast stream right now. As soon as I get off here, I'm going to start. I have not started recording yet, so that's what I'm going to work on now. But yeah, but once again, Chris, thank you so much, as well as Proxy. You guys rock. you know, like I said, we'll be back here probably with another live stream as well. Let's see, Proxy as well for 1 year. Holy cow! Category 3 club Proxy for 12 months. Wow, Proxy, this time flies. It does. I remember the first stream you were here. Proxy, it's good to have you here. Like I said, thank you for being a member for a year, obviously, and thank you for being, you know, very supportive on the channel here for forever. It's just greatly appreciated, Proxy. We love you. But all right, you guys. Well, y'all, we're gonna head off here now. Let's see here. Chris says, does it seem like the Euro's predicting a similar track to Sandy due to the big high? The big high is the main steering mechanism of what's gonna happen in the late development of the storm. Like I said, you know, once again, depends on the strength, the size, and you know where it's at essentially of that high pressure system. So a lot can, you know, a lot can sure definitely change overall. But yeah. But all right, you guys. Well, let's see here. But yeah, like I said, you guys, you know, take care. We're 1 subscriber away now. Oh my gosh, y'all, we can do this real quickly. Please consider subscribing. Like I said, we don't ask for anything on the channel really, but we're just 1 subscriber away, y'all, from 18,300. Like, we can do this. But all right, you guys. Well, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Once again, we'll catch you guys later this evening, more than likely, on another tropical weather update and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm gonna work on my live stream. I've said this work on my video. You guys probably heard me say this thing a million times, but I'm gonna work on my, work on everything right now. But all right, well, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night or day here. So we'll catch you guys later on. We're gonna go and hop over here to the ending screen. The stream's gonna head off here in approximately 2 minutes. So if you guys have anything you want to go ahead and say to your friends and family, go ahead and say goodbye now. But all right, well, you guys have a wonderful, like I said, rest of your afternoon and evening. Once again, we'll catch you guys here later on. See, Cole says, what's up? Just subscribe. Thank you so much, Cole. Really appreciate it. And we did. We reached it, y'all. 18,300. We love you guys. Thank you so much for all the support. You guys absolutely rock. Big, big thank you. And all right, you guys. Well, y'all take care. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. I know I said this a lot of times, but, but we'll catch you guys later on. All right, y'all. Peace out. We'll see you guys later on.